Hey y'all, I'm Todd Bailey.
What's up? It's Arie Lumberdozy.
And this is fucking Brewtal.
Get in the pit, stock up the fridge, and listen. We're here to cover the latest in metal news and craft beer. A match made in hell.
If it makes you bang your head, then we want to hear it. If it tickles your taste buds, share those suds.
Turn it up to 11.
Crack open that beer.
It's about to get brutal. What's good there, Hopwolves? It's your boys, Todd, Arie, episode 89 of Brewtal Podcast. Let's fucking get it, run it. We're recording on September 15th. It is a Friday, so release day. I had to think about it. Very excited, as always, to be recording on new music. And yeah, dude, let's get into it. How's the week been? I'm ready to drink some beers. It's been a weird week. I'll just kind of preface that.
Yeah, we'll keep this short, but it's actually been kind of a blur. We've actually got rain this week in Austin, which is a blessing.
There is a God.
Blessing and a curse, though. It's been like just the way Texas is that it comes and goes real quickly, but it's a very violent short stay. So we got lots of rain and lightning. What's cool is being that I work in the mornings, I drive around this black Tahoe. That's our weather unit. So didn't have to be out in the rain, but just had to drive through it and just navigate myself around other cars that don't know how to drive in bad weather.
Yeah, there's a, I don't know what it is. People just don't seem to want to adapt when there's any inclement weather, whether it's rain, sleet, snow, whatever, just like a fucking postman, except they're in a car, not on foot. And it doesn't really bode well for most people. But I only recently found out, I don't know why this never dawned. And I'm sure you can attest to this because you were just in Italy. But I was talking to our friend Ben, shout out Ben to Dr. Proctor. He was over in Italy like the week after you were. And he had to drive there. And he's like, dude, driving over there is so fucking weird. Like, there's no turn signals. Like, people just kind of do whatever. So, like, I try to have that mentality while driving now. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like, use your fucking turn signal, man. Come on.
Dude, it's people on their phones, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're great at multitasking, but no.
I'd like to be great at multitasking when I'm not in a fucking motor vehicle. But whatever. I'm glad that it wasn't too bad for you with the unexpected rain, but I'm sure the welcome rain, that's exciting. Yeah. It was Skylar's birthday last weekend, so that was really exciting. We did a couple cool things for that. There's a place called the Mattress Factory here in Pittsburgh, which has nothing to do with mattresses. Unbeknownst to most people that haven't heard of it, it's an art museum, but it's like an interactive art museum. I love that place. I'd only been there one other time. This was Sky's first time, so that was really exciting. She really had fun there. Then we went to Purgatory, which is also a fucking great place. I think we went there.
Yeah, I've been.
But ate way too fucking much and went straight to a wine fest after that. So it was a jam-packed day. I haven't had that much food / to drink in a long time.
Was it the right order to do them in?
I think so. We just ate too much at Purgatory. Like, that was really, because they have spiked milkshakes there too, so we had to get one. But their milkshakes are huge, so like when you order one, they bring out the rest of it like in a separate thing. So you basically have two. Mm-hmm. But they have a PB&J like with jalapeno jelly burger that's fucking awesome. We talk about it all the time. So we got that. That was a really good time. The rest of the week's been really fucking weird. I don't really want to get into it. And we're not going to.
That's why we're drinking.
Which, speaking of, the turns have finally tabled. I'm going first this week for the beer breakdown. I didn't even finish. I have a PBR over here. I didn't even finish that. I'll leave that later. Because I'm obviously more excited about this. So it is September, which means we're in the throes of spooky season. So I'm going to keep that train going. Ghost train going. Damn, where's that one that you had before that ghost train? Whatever. Maybe you can get it again. This week, and also keeping with the color, I've been really into purple, dude.
I love the look of that.
I'm on that ominous shit. Shout out to Josh from Monasteries for joining us last week for a chat. But that was all purple. That's why I'm bringing this up. But anyway, I'm going to hold it up for everyone watching, everyone listening. I have Allagash's Haunted House, which is a hoppy dark ale. Not normally what I would go for, but the description sounded fantastic. And also, I'm a sucker for this can. I love the way this looks. I've been getting more into simplistic thanks to my wife and also Todd. So what we have here for everyone listening, it's green and purple, predominantly purple. So very spooky colors. It reminds me kind of like a cross between Haunted Mansion and Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like an accurate description, but basically like you have Allagash up top, Haunted House is in distressed green, with the hoppy dark ale below. And then like you can kind of see there's like silhouettes of a neighborhood of sorts. And then the haunted house itself is all sketched in. It looks pretty cool. It's got the light coming through is also green. So yeah, had to get it. And of course it's coming in at 6.66% ABV. Come on now. It ain't even funny anymore. Allagash is from Portland, Maine. I know of Allagash. I don't think I've ever had anything from them. So that was another deciding factor. Been trying to, of course, I want to get all my seasonal favorites, but I got this one and another one that I'll have next week, but also spooky. They're going to be spooky as long as I fucking can, and will continue to do so. Per the can, it says, cursed by our love of roasty porters, we summon the recipe for Haunted House, roasted barley, and Black Prince malt. Cloak this ale in a gravely dark hue. I forgot to grab glass, so that's my bad, Hopwolves. I've been, my head ain't into the game this week. And then it says, hopped with Crystal Nugget, Cascade, and Northern Brewer. Its flavor is filled with hauntingly balanced notes of coffee, malt, and a devilish hint of hops. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm really excited. Let's pop this bad boy open.
Hints of lifeblood. I love it.
Hell yeah, dude. Ooh. Yeah, I'm getting those hints of coffee right off the bat and the malt, dude. Smells good. Cheers, Hopwolves, Haunted House. Let's end the week strong.
Yeah, I get a little Munster vibes with the can too. Rob Zombies, he very much colorized it like boom, and that's what I get from that can.
That is also a very good point. Anything that's like kind of like cartoony, but still in like a serious vein of sorts. It's pretty good. I don't usually like as much as I like hoppy beers for like IPAs and things like that. When it comes to anything that's like ale or lager related, I'm super like hesitant because it's not my normal cup of tea. It's really the aftertaste. Like it's just like the weird bitter aftertaste mixed with the coffee or whatever else that they have in there. It's just more bitter to me, which doesn't make a ton of sense. So I am getting that, but it is a nice mouthfeel. Let's get another one. Yeah, it's smooth. I get a lot of the hops on the front end and kind of stick on the tip of my tongue, which is cool. It is about what I expected for a hoppy dark ale. I do like it. I'm going to recommend it. It's not my favorite, but I kind of knew that going into it just because this isn't my favorite type of style. I can see like it does have some nice color when I'm staring into the can. But yeah, it's just a little hoppy. The dark, the maltiness, like it's not even necessarily the malt itself, but it's really the hop mixed with this type of malts and the bitterness coming from the coffee as well. It's good. Again, not my normal cup of tea, but I think like the presentation, almost anything that's spooky, I'm going to fucking recommend anyway. So that's, not the best frame of reference there, but yeah, it's cool. I'd probably stick with this 4-pack and call it a day. But yeah. Haunted House by Allagash Brewery proceeds. It is very well brewed, smooth, good mouthfeel. Just a little out of my comfort zone this week for your boy.
Hey, I appreciate you going for it, man. It can't all be winners on this show, even though we aim for that.
We do. We hate talking about negative things.
Yeah.
At least we try not to.
What
do you got?
I have anti-resin. So a little bit of negative there.
Take back what we just said.
This is coming at 9.1%. And what's kind of cool about this beer in particular, I'm going to read my last line first, is that they say, per the website, it's the inversion of resin. So that's another beer that they offer. So it's all hop character, none of the bitterness. So that's kind of my testing point, what I'm going to go off of. But a little bit more about them. It's a hazy IPA. It's from Sixpoint Brewery from Brooklyn, New York. As you can see, it's kind of a slim can. It's 12 ounce. Green and gold colors. They have the star up here, and there's like a lot of like lines coming out from it all around the can, which is cool. Everything is kind of boxed in the front here with the name, the logo. And then on the back, there's a description, which I'm going to read here real quick. So they said, remember your first sip of hazy beer? ? We do. The game had completely changed. The bitter battle was over. This was the antithesis. Almost seemed too good to be true, like it was from another planet. Aren't hops supposed to be bitter? This is pure hop candy. Okay. Thinking about the haze, bursting with juice, ripe as all hell, makes me look backwards at those anti-resins all night long. Welcome to the bizarro world. Okay. I like that already.
Lords of the Upside Down, Spike Cult right there.
It goes on to say resin's proprietary hop blend gets flipped on its head to extract potent hop character with no bitterness. I am really going to test that no bitterness of this. So here we go. I try to get it into as proper of a glass as possible. Nice color. I love that you can't see through it. That's a true hazy. I will say for the smell though, I don't smell much. That might just be my own nose. But yeah, there's like no smell. I wonder if that's like a byproduct of like erasing the bitterness.
Yeah, it depends how they hopped it.
I feel like there's
Nervous.
a tinge. I feel like there's a tinge on the back of my throat with bitterness, even though they say there's none, but it's got good flavor. I just can't describe it.
You getting like tropical notes, or I mean, it's got to be smooth, right?
Yeah, very smooth, except the back. On the back end, you get a little bit. So yeah, when you drink it, it's really, really smooth. But then on that back end, you're like, okay, I need to take another drink to get rid of that. But not bad overall. This is certainly something I probably wouldn't go back to this.
Okay.
It makes me want to compare it to the resin to see what the big difference is.
Yeah. For a different show, perhaps.
Yeah, this kind of leaves me more to be desired, if you will.
Okay.
Might just not be for me, but that's okay.
That's okay. Like you said, we try to pick all the winners that we can, but they can't all be like that. And even if there's a bad beer or really anything, there's redeemable qualities. If it's drinkable.
I do like that it's 9.1%. That I'll give
fuck
it that.
Yeah, there we go. 9.1. I got a 6.66. That's cool. Right there is fine. Let's get into something that we know that we're both like super fucking into. We're talking about the metal headlines this week, and this one just came up right before we started recording, which is pretty fucking exciting. And to preface, we've talked a lot about this really over the course of Brewtal. We love seeing bands come back after extended hiatuses because that lets you know that there's a demand for them. But more importantly, that they legit want to do it. Not that they didn't before, but like if you're taking multiple years off and then you're revisiting a project, you know that there's something there that you missed doing and you're going to give it your all. And that is fucking commendable. because we're talking specifically, and we'll bring up a couple other instances because what the fuck, why not? We're talking about It Dies Today. We've talked about It Dies Today. It does die today, motherfucker. 14 years. I'm crying. This is their first new single in 14 years, which by design, probably because they're going to be playing Furnace Fest in Birmingham. Well, by the time this comes out, it will already be happening, but it's next weekend. That's a fest I really want to check out. I've heard nothing but good things about that festival. Compared to Blue Ridge, which is under fire. We're not going to get into that. You can look into that a little bit yourselves there, Hopwolves, but inclement weather is an understatement, but there's a lot of other underlying things that I've also been reading about. But not with Furnace Fest. Furnace Fest sounds fucking sick. Fire, dude. Yeah, the new song, which I actually didn't even fucking write. It's called Black Clouds. Oh my God, Black Clouds Connect. I'm gonna look it up real fast. Forgive me, Hopwolves. I got so excited that this fucking came out. Buried by Black Clouds is the name of the track. Currently, at the time of recording, it's only on YouTube Music. Bold move. But that's kind of cool. It's supposed to hit streaming services, all the rest of them at some point. Just the fact that it's even here is too fucking exciting for us here on Brewtal. I know we've talked about It Dies Today at length before. This is just really cool. That's a really underrated metalcore band, and they might not even be that underrated because I see and hear a lot of people talking about them, but at least at the time they felt pretty underrated. I don't know. Welcome back, boys. This song didn't skip a beat. They're part of the golden age of metalcore. So like early, like pretty much 2000 to 2010, I would say is the golden age, specifically in the middle. The Cative Choir came out in 2004, which is my personal favorite. I think it is for you as well, their friend. I mean, you really can't go wrong. They had 3 albums that all fucking rip. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? I know you haven't listened to it. I've listened to it a few times already, and all I can think of is Tim Robinson being like, he flipped my wife 7 times. But yeah, I listened to it like probably 3 or 4 times right before recording. It's super catchy. It's super heavy. It sounds like it did back in the day. And like, that's not a bad thing. Sometimes like you get bands coming back and it just kind of is the same formula, which again, isn't necessarily terrible. I'm thinking specifically of Rose Funeral, where they really just stuck with like that production of the early MySpace deathcore, which is fine. But when you have the revival of that era, but it's a little bit more polished, you can really tell. It's not bad, but still, what I'm getting at is like you have the production. But anyway, thoughts on this? What do you think about them being back?
So I am hyped as can be. I grew up with this band. I love them to death. As you mentioned, the Cative Choir. To them, to us, I think they changed metalcore from there on out, because not only was it so aggressive, like catchiest choruses, but I do think Sirens is very underrated because it came after the Cative Choir, which is, I would say, their most popular.
Yeah.
And then they sort of kind of fell off, but they had kind of a little bit of a back and forth with their vocalists, which I think kind of didn't help the situation.
Yeah.
But Lividity is still solid, and they did tease us. I remember they had like either a song or two, like maybe a few years back, maybe the 7 years back or so, to
right.
cut the 14 years in half. But so they did tease us a little bit with a comeback, but now that it's like officially happening, I am so pumped for this song. I can't wait to listen to it. If I'm going off of what you're saying about it, like I already know I'm going to like it.
I would be legit surprised if you came back and be like, dude, this fucking sucks.
Not for me.
I just don't see if you're a fan of the band, you're going to love this track. And if you're new to the band, you're going to love this track. I think it's a great bridge between where they left off with Lividity, which is a solid album too.
It is.
Sirens is heavy. Like you said, it's the heaviest of the bunch. I am blanking on all the names right now. There's one in particular that I frequently go back to. That's neither here nor there.
Forever Scorned is often overlooked because it came before the Cave Choir when they really changed their sound up. But like that might just be their heaviest before they added a lot more melody and choruses.
That's true. That's true. This is a band too that we were kind of talking the other day. What's a band that's non-deathcore that could make a transition like into deathcore pretty flawlessly? I think It Dies Today could do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. So we have It Dies Today. That's our big thing. But like another, and we're going to talk about this more later. We have other bands, legendary bands coming back, like Suffocation just dropped their first track in 6 years and it fucking rips. That band is a staple in the death metal scene. And there's a reason for that. They haven't let up at all, which is crazy considering that the goats of the genre are putting out some of the best material, like Suffocation, Dying Fetus, Cannibal Corpse hasn't let off. Right. You have Cattle Decapitation, and then you have bands coming in that are revitalizing the genre, because we've said this many times before, we're not huge death metal fans, like straight up, but these bands, like,
I'm becoming one. Because
I'm becoming one too.
Death metal is alive right now, dude. We'll talk about that more actually in this next section coming up here. Hit me with some of these albums. There's actually a lot of death metal albums on this list.
Yeah, there really is, dude. This was a big week, which was exciting. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew a couple of things coming out, but anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Let's start it off with Alkaloid with Newman. ALHPA VIRUS with their Exodus EP, fuck yeah. Blood Oath with Lost in an Eternal Silence, noise. Then we have Enox dropping their Paradise EP. That's going to be a banger. They've been getting progressively heavier. I really like what that band is doing. Fabricant with Drudge to the Thicket. Flesher with Tales of Grotesque Demise. Hell yeah. Great Falls with Objects Without Pain. That's cool. Grid Link with Coronet Juniper. I Satan with the Eld Teltment EP. Pittsburgh Locals Kicked in the Head by a Horse with Sporadic Dystrophy, and that's an EP. Magnitude with Of Days Renewed, ... Rats in Paradise with RIP, that's in all caps. Just be like, there's rats in paradise, dude. I wonder if it's the same paradise that Enox is in, because that's kind of sick. Could be. Get the corkboard out, Hopwolves. Serration with Simulations of Hell. Don't need that. We're living in one. Slamama with After the Burial EP. Thorn with Evergloom. To the Grave with Offcuts. Hell yeah. Tomb Mold with The Enduring Spirit. Tarantula, FL, Florida. A Visceral Feast of Violence EP. Followed up, rightfully so, with Violent Life, Violent Death. And that's Break, Burn, End. And then finishing it off with our hometown heroes, War of Ages, with Dominion. They are definitely the biggest metal band that's came out of Erie, to my knowledge.
Dude, the all-consuming fire continues to burn.
It's still burning, which, now that I'm thinking of it, this must be their first one after, I believe it was their guitarist that passed away a couple years ago. I'm blanking on who, but this has got to be their first one since then. So that's great that they're still kicking. I want to say it's a running joke, but I don't think it is, because I feel like it's a fact. Almost everyone like Todd and I's age or thereabouts in Erie, one of their first shows was a War of Ages show. I know mine was. It was War of Ages and Jesus Wept. This list is fucking sick, dude. What's doing it for you this week? I know neither of us have really gotten a chance to listen to much, but what are you excited for? If you have listened to something, what really did it for you this week?
So I've had on constant repeat today Tomb Mold's new album. It's the only one I've listened to, and I say it's heavenly, and I use that word deliberately because it's a lot more progressive for a death metal album, dude. There's like
Oh, nice.
a really good atmosphere with solos that like transport you, and then you add death metal on top of that. It makes me think of Disfiguring the Goddess's new one, which I love actually.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's doing something new with that. It's like very like ambient noises. Kind of think of like just like that chill hop radio with like death metal on top of it. But like what Tumult is doing is taking death metal and just adding all these progressive elements. And it's very spacious. It's very like I was surprised by it, but like I was like, hell yeah, like it's very bandy, and it's a welcome surprise. I've seen some comments online where it's a little jarring. They're like, okay, like I was not expecting this, but I think I saw one of the guitarists has a different project, and he kind of bled a little inspiration from that project into this new album, which is leaning into those progressive elements. But I'm here for it, man. Like death metal is having a great year, like you said. The old heads are making some of the best albums that they've ever made, and then you have these newcomers like Sangui Sugabog and everyone like pumping some more blood into it. And now with Tumult, they're like, okay, let's take that and then just go to left field with it. So I'm hyped for that. I can't recommend it enough. Other than that, I do want to check out ALHPA VIRUS. Those are 2 songs, but I can't wait to listen to that. Enox, very much looking to that. As far as the death metal, I said there's a lot of death metal. Blood Oath, Fabricant, Flesher. You know someone in Flesher, so you've turned me on to them. Great cover art for that album too. It's got like this guy on like a planet or whatnot. I Satan is really strong EP. There's a Behemoth cover on that, which is I think the better version in my opinion. They just made it heavier, and so that's a welcome surprise. Serration. I heard one song from Serration, and I can't wait to listen to the rest of that album. Thorn is another death metal album. To the Grave, I heard there's an acoustic song on that album.
I saw that.
That's going to be a mixed bag for fans, so get ready for offcuts. Again, they didn't need to do this, but it's here, so I can't wait.
It is jarring whenever you have bands that like and love their sound, but then they come in like Tomb Mode or To the Grave coming in with an acoustic. But To the Grave, I'm thinking specifically like they did a cover of My Chemical Romance on Epilogue. So like you can tell like they want to have fun. Like, I mean, they're having fun with it, but doing different things, and like that is cool. Sometimes it doesn't always work out for like the pre-existing fan base, but like if you're thinking about the musicians as musicians just doing whatever they actually want to be doing, which we talked a lot about Acacia Strain, like that's a perfect example of releasing 2 albums, one that they really wanted to release and then another which is going to appease the fans. So, and there's fans of both. So anyway, that's really cool. I've heard a lot of good things from you about Tumult, and then through various forums. So I am excited for that one. I have to shout out Flesher, my dude Dustin. He is the drummer in that band. I actually might be seeing them tomorrow, which I'm really excited for. Yeah.
I listened to half that album and I can't wait to listen to the second half. It's really good. So yeah, tell him 2 thumbs up from me.
Hell yeah, dude. I definitely will. Dustin's a really fucking cool dude. I've gotten to know him a lot over the years. He scored my latest short. He's helped me out a lot on that front, and he's a killer musician. Drum work on fucking point. And that's like nice, like the old school death metal, but still they're killing it. So that one's really cool. Also shout out to our dude Mitchell of 830 Audio. He's part of Tarantula, so congratulations to them on A Visceral Feast of Violence. I'm really excited for that EP. Was a fan of that band even before we became friends with Mitchell. ALHPA VIRUS, we both love that band. And Enox, those ones are the ones that are really standing out. But there's really the whole album or the whole list. I am very excited to check out. Flesher. Of course, To the Grave, War of Ages for old time's sake. I've heard really good things about Serration. So yeah, a lot of really good stuff, dude. But I guess take it away. The ones that we listen to, Flesher, Tomb Mold, fucking do it. Let's get into the Certified Brutal Bangers, the CBB. You want to take it away, friend?
Yeah, let's read this thing. It's a great list. We're starting off with Exhuminator with Welcome to the Flesh Factory. It's a great intro. That's all I can say. Like once I heard it, I was like, this is going to the top. Next up, we have Suffocation. We talked about them. This is the new song, Seraphim Enslavement. After that, we treat you with Spite, which is featuring a Phil Bozeman of Whitechapel. And the song is called Thank You Again. I didn't know Phil was on it the first few listens, and then Arie enlightened me, and I was like, no fucking way. So that just elevated the song for me. Next up, we have the Voynich Code. They keep chugging out new singles. I think they have a full-length release coming out. This one's called A Flicker of Life. I still have yet to hear it, but everything they've released so far, I've really liked, so I can't wait.
Tech death, dude, at its finest.
Next up, this was a late submission, but a good one. Cerebral Cortex with Synthetic Plague. It's fitting to be this high in the list. After that, we have Yokai with Grudger. And then after that, we have Osaya with Kardashev Denied. I have to say on the video for this song, so many people are like, why are you calling out Kardashev like this? And even Kardashev actually responded. They're like, oh God. But they're all having good fun with it. But this song is so good, man. Very heavy from the first second. So
hell yeah.
Big thumbs up for that one. Next up, we have End with The Sin of Human Frailty. Can't wait to hear that. Then we have Sedative with Romeo at number 9. Then we have a Brewtal alumni, Sunfall, with their song Nothing. I can't wait to hear that. After them, we have Mouth Breather with Ethical Hunting. And then another Brewtal alumni, Mugshot with Life's Dead. I love where Mugshot's at right now. I feel like they're getting the attention they deserve. So I love to see it. After that, we have the band DVST, which I still have yet to know what that means. We'll find out one day. But they just dropped a single, Sertrainline Dreams. Next up, we have Us Alike, which is featuring Dakota Egerter and then Craig Laro. I don't know what bands they're from. I do believe this band is from New York State, just above PA, one of those cities. The song is called Distortions. If you like old school metalcore, they're kind of keeping that alive.
Nice.
After them, we have Atlas, and that the second A is a V, just so you know how to look them up. They just came out with a new single, Shadow Dancer. What I like about this song, they kind of sing during the breakdown, I believe, which is a cool little twist. After that, we have Jared Dines, and this is featuring a bunch of people: Oni, Austin Dickey, Justin Bonitz, and Taylor Barber. It is called Turn to Stone. It is heavy as much as you think it should be. And then they add some choruses unexpectedly. So that's why we dropped it on the list, but it's one of the heavier ones at the bottom.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for that. Next up, we have Kill the Kong, and this is featuring Bjorn Strid of Soilwork, which is an awesome get. The song is called Deep Fall. After them, we have Vilt, VILT, with Heart of Gold. Then at number 19, we have Buffel, another Brewtal alumni. Shout out to y'all. They dropped their new single, Waiting for the Sky. It starts off heavy, dude. I know there's some singing on it, but it starts off heavy. So
yeah, another golden age of metalcore, like revival.
Mm-hmm. And then, so this might be the softest track on the playlist, but it is Turn It Up, and then in parentheses, Keyboard Warriors Social Club. I think they're making a dig at something there.
Yeah.
This is from Novelist, and they have a new vocalist now. I think her name is Camilla. It could be wrong. It could be right. Someone with a C, but she is great. A lot of singing in the beginning. Just wait, dude. Her screams are great, and it's during an awesome breakdown. Those guitarists in that band, dude, I love what they're doing. They're all over the fretboard in this song, so you're in for a treat. And get ready for this new era of Novelists. I can't wait. So this begs the question. I'm just going to say right away, I only listened to the top half, and I loved everything from it. But what was standing out to you? I know for sure Spite. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Spite for sure. They have over the years become one of my favorite newer bands, even though like they've been around for a hot minute at this point. Uh really just to go from losing a lot of members to this and you know, I'm not sure when this was tracked. I'm also not sure like who the dig is at exactly. Maybe Baby J. I don't really know, but I love it. Phil's always a welcome addition to any track, which we have to talk about briefly. Like, we were so stoked for the new Whitechapel music video, but neither of us realized that both those songs were on Kin, which really just goes to show that we just did not listen to Kin that much.
So we have some homework to do.
We have some homework. But of course, that was really cool. And Suffocation, fucking sick. And fucking sick. I'm really excited for any of the Brewtal alums. I haven't checked any of them out. Mugshot, Sunfall, they have a new singer as well. So that'll be exciting. Buffel, of course, is always really fun. But yeah, great list, dude. Especially that ending with the Novelist track. That was a really cool surprise.
Yeah, dude, that playlist, just full bangers, aptly titled.
It's like we know what we're talking about.
Exactly. But another banger we're about to talk about is our featured band today. We're lucky to have them. They're from Mexico, which is awesome. We're talking about Deathmask. I have nothing negative to say about this band, and that's why we're featuring them, because that's how we go about things. If we love a band, we want to feature you, and we will reach out. So watch out. That's a threat. We will reach out.
Just like come through the screen and be like, let us play your music.
Seriously, I'm so gracious that they said yes. We are featuring their song Son of Death, and that's an OV. And it is featuring a Mr. Ben Duerr of Shadow of Intent. What a great get for this. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Arie, tell me just a little bit about them, with their bio, and then what this song is about.
The Boys in Deathmask kept it short and sweet, which we love, which is something because I'm always really long-winded, as I am right now. The bio, Mexican Deathcore on Sabrock Records. Love it. Fuck yeah. And I believe this is the first band from Mexico that we've had the honor of featuring. So that's pretty fucking exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And rightfully so. And about the track, the band said lust becomes bloody and creates meaningless bonds in our lives.
Something to think about.
Something to think about.
Have you
pretty
watched
fucking cool,
the film
dude.
7?
Yeah. What's in the box? What's in this track? We're going to talk about the track. We can't talk about the box. But yeah, dude, you turned me on to this band. I know you were super excited. And this is a pretty new song. It just came out like 2 weeks ago or something to that effect. And I mean, Deathmask is such a sick name. Anytime I hear something like this, I'm like, how is this not already taken? Because it's already great. Which, fuck yeah. I love it. And the concept of death masks for me personally has been something that I've been interested in for many, many years. So that's really cool. And they really bring the heat, dude. Live up to the name. Take us down the Sons of Death lane, dude. What do we got?
So the intro instruments, so right from the get-go, are very reminiscent to me of Suicide Silence. And I love that fact. Not a slight at all. I love that I kind of hear that in your sound. Hopefully that is an influence for you guys. And I love that they carry the riffage and the tempo through when the vocals finally kick in. So you get a little bit of instruments in the beginning. You can get your body ready, just start moshing. And then that vocalist, dude, I love your vocals. And the drumming is wild as well, man. Drummer is a beast. I'm instantly hooked though by those vocals, man. That's usually where I gravitate to. It's usually the vocals with the drumming. That's what stands out to me. But the guitar shines. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But the vocal technique within the first 30 seconds, dude, you're like, what is this? Like, I want more, and you do get more. There's a really cool part that starts maybe like 50 seconds in. It's a little bit of a solo with like this awesome effects. I'm so bad with technical terms, so I don't know how else to describe it, but it goes on for a while that I designate it as a solo. So I love that they're adding variation to the song. And then there's this like drag pull on the guitars around like 120. Again, another just like awesome effect, and it keeps like your interest going as you keep going throughout the song. You're like, what am I going to get next? The song never lets up. Super groovy part that starts around like 148. That's when you know you have to start moshing. Yeah, if you're listening to this live, like if you're not banging your head at this point in the song, like you got to start now.
You're an idiot.
Then they don't really slow things down, but there's like a spoken word part during a breakdown around 2 minutes in. Again, another welcome surprise. Like this song is just full of surprises, and it like just keeps giving you more and more of the unexpected. So I love being treated to that. To me, I'm going to say this right now. The song is an instant heaviest of the year contender for me, for all these reasons that I'm stating. So be on the lookout, guys. This might be at the end of the year. DEATHMASK. Remember the name. And then let's talk about the feature. I love when Ben comes in around 255. His lows, dude, and then he like carries them and like ascends them into a high. The man can do no wrong. Like I first heard of Ben Duerr. This is not a lie. I first heard him on an I Am Abomination track. And he was a feature on their song.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Like I didn't know who this guy was, and then I was like, this feature is amazing. What bands are he a part of? And that's how I started my history with Ben Duerr. And like I've just always known him to be like this. His gutturals are so good, and his lows, like I have to believe he sounds exactly like that when he's live.
For good things.
Yes. But so that section with him until the end of the song, that whole section is just a cherry on top. Wrote down to the ice cream we're being served. The vocals are really on display here. So it's not just him, it's both vocals going back and forth for the final stretch. And then there's a scream at 4 minutes in. That's a personal favorite, along with the one to end the song. Just what a fucking ride, dude. What are your feelings on it, man? Like I don't know, in order, like just everything flows into one another and like just keeps treating you.
I think the way you described it as a fucking ride is probably the best way to describe it. My favorite thing about the track, besides the heaviness, just the musicianship that's going on, like like it sounds great. It's super heavy. It reminds me of Monasteries. Again, shout out to Josh from Monasteries from last episode. In the sense that like when I'm listening to the song, it sounds like it could be like 3 different songs because the sections are so distinctly different, which is exciting to me. Cause like it's not the normal like intro chorus or like, intro bridge chorus hook, stuff like that. I guess the best way to describe it is like when Ben's part comes in, it's just such a change of pace compared to the rest of the song, which is really cool. And it really complements his style. And then it goes back to DEATHMASK as a whole, which complements their style. So like there's a lot of thought that seems like it went into the production of this particular track. And I'm sure the rest of their stuff. I love the spoken breakdown with the newsreel. That I've always been a sucker for that in any song. So I feel like it's been a minute since I've heard a good one. And this really brings it. The musicianship is super, super there. One of the visuals in the video that was my favorite is the singer has the mic like literally in his mouth for like a guttural. And I fucking love it. Chef's kiss for sure. It's cool. Yeah. I really like that you had the nod to Suicide Silence because I couldn't peg it at the beginning, but that's absolutely it. So you have that homage to an older sense of deathcore, but with the new flair. It's just a good time. Like there's really nothing that I really expected to happen, and it was a good time. It's heavy as fuck. I want to see this live, really.
Hell yeah, dude. Beyond the music, though, we'd love to talk about what the band is drinking. So, Arie, they kept this list short too, but they listed some great beer. So let's go.
All bangers. Again, short, sweet, to the point. We were talking Corona Ultra, which I'm guessing is Mick Ultra, Modelo, and Miller. Fuck yeah. Love it. I would have any of those. And I would love to have some anytime we say this, like we have these featured bands, if we could ever like meet up and have this beer, see a show, like that's sick. I got to brush up on my Spanish if we're going to see Deathmask. I would love to see him in Mexico. That'd be fucking sick. So that's what's fueling the band liquidly. Question mark? I don't know.
You just made a word. I love it.
I just made a word. Let's talk about sonically. These are the bands that have been on repeat for Deathmask. We're starting it off, rightfully so, Humanity's Last Breath with Lifeless, Deathless. Of note, I did see that this track, and I'm guessing the rest of either, an EP or a full length, was mixed and mastered by Buster Odom.
Oh.
Which also in Humanity's Last Breath, that man is phenomenal. Love you, Buster. So that's very appropriate here. Then we have Face Yourself with Grosse Bagarre.
That's close enough.
I hope that's right. I'm pretty sure it's French. I know that their lead singer, she is French, so that would make sense.
Oh, I did not know that. That's actually fun fact. The more you know.
Yes, more you know. Sick band. Then we have Brand of Sacrifice with Between Death and Dreams, which I fucking love that song. So shout out to you boys. I have that song on repeat when I'm writing sometimes. So fuck yeah. Then we have King 810 with Brains on the Asphalt. Fuck yeah. That's a very polarized band. You either love that band or you hate that band. There's not a lot in between.
I will say they have some very strong singles. So like
they do.
If you're on them, listen to the discography, cherry pick some of those songs, but like when they hit, they hit.
Yeah, absolutely. But a band that always fucking hits is Carnifex with Death's Forgotten Children, and that features a Mr. Tom Barber of Chelsea Grin and Darko US. I was thinking about this when I was writing this. Where's the other Darko? Like we have Darko US, but like where's the other one from? I just haven't looked into that.
They're in their lawyer's office still trying to write out that lawsuit.
Yeah, that's fair. Great pick with that. Shadow of Intent with The Migrant makes sense since Ben is on this track. Great choice. Vela Mara with Artificial Dose. Fear Factory with Disruptor. Fuck yeah. Then we have Die Artist Murder with Blood Throne. They're set to release their new album pretty soon. I think
Very
it might
soon.
be like next week or something like that.
Yeah, I think they delayed it just a little bit, but it's coming,
Fuck yeah. And then lastly, we have Trigger the Bloodshed with Debreed.
I don't know this band, so I'm actually very curious to check them out.
If I'm thinking of the right one, I think they're an older band that were pretty sick, like MySpace deathcore era type shit.
Okay.
So I could be wrong with that. Anyway, great fucking list. Awesome Deathmask. We love the song. We love what you're drinking. We love what you're jamming. If you want to listen to the band, Spotify, Apple Music, you can also follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Deathmask Music or Band, either one should do the trick. What do you think? Son of Death, spin that shit. Any last remarks?
Viva la Mexico.
Viva la Mexico, baby.
so